My name is James Williams Jr. Welcome to Kung Fu Habit 2. This is a random. I'm going to touch on some things that I need to touch on. And most of this is basically the radicalization of the youth of America. I'm a 42-year-old veteran of the United States military. And I'm proud to say that I have served, on some level or another, my country. And I'm proud to say that if I was healthy and back in my 20s, I would go again. Because it's what I need to do. But most importantly, I would like to say, it is a damn shame when our youth cannot think about their ancestors. When our youth can't look their grandmother in the face and say, "What's your story? What have you been through?" So that I can live in a world of privilege where I can get a job and bust my ass and go home and have money to spend on video cameras and pussy and other eccentric things. What is wrong with you? Why can you not understand that this is your country? This is your home. Why would you want to join forces with some asshole that wants you dead? You want to kill people. You want to make a statement. I get that. So here's my challenge to you radicalized youth of America. You want to make a statement? Here's a statement. Give ISIS, whatever, that right there. You give them that. And then you join our army. And we might not be the good guys all the time. But we're not always the bad guys. We only go in when the UN tells us that we need to go in and fix a problem. We don't often declare war until someone attacks us. We had no business in World War II. We had no business in Vietnam or Korea. But being part of the UN, we got sent in. Now, my facts may be a facsimile. I could be wrong. But I know for a fact that at World War II, had Japan not attacked Pearl Harbor, they would still have an army. And we would never have went back and attacked them. Now, granted, we're guilty as hell for that. Because just like them, we attacked someplace that probably couldn't fight back. Except for, honestly, they attacked a military installation. So they kind of was one up on us on that one. But we dropped the bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Not cool. Not cool, man. Because we had dropped the bomb on civilians. I'm pretty sure when we realized that, we totally fucked up. And let's not forget the entrapment camps that we put fellow Asian citizens in who had nothing to do with the war, but they were just Japanese. And even locked up some Chinese people because you couldn't tell the difference. But, the fact of the matter is, they were innocent Americans. Them getting radicalized, I understand. But even so, they didn't come back at us and started attacking American outposts and shit. And you will always have gangsters. There will always be triads. There will always be Yakuza. There will always be a mob. And there will always be gang members, thugs, headbangers. Everywhere you go, there's always going to be somebody with a raw hair up their ass that needs to make a statement. But in case you haven't noticed, their crimes are petty compared to treason against our country. So for you youth of America that is completely radicalized and ISIS this and ISIS that and going to join the motherfuckers, go sit at the foot of your grandparent and ask them their struggle. Why they left the country did you trying to destroy or join to come and destroy the country that they came to so that you and your parents could have a better life? Ask yourself that. Now, granted, America was built on the backs of Native Americans, slaves, and the Chinese. And I say that exclusively because in history class, this is what they teach you. They teach you that in America, we had slavery. Correct. We had slavery. Granted, most of those slaves were black people. Some of them were white people. And then you have heroes like Frederick Douglass and Harriet Tubman, who Underground Railroad and guerrilla warfare taught everyone else how to live and escape. But then you forgot about the First Nation, the people who were here first, the Native Americans, how they got put on hunks of dirt for this world to exist. My ancestors are Native American, as well as black, as well as white. I have no right to be a racist whatsoever, because I was born out of the three primary members of this country. But you, who were descendants of immigrants who come out of India or Bangladesh or Pakistan or whatever foreign nation that's poor and deprived, we've always welcomed them with open arms, even on the backs of my ancestors of all three sides. What is your malfunction? Can you go look your grandmother in the face, or your grandfather, whichever one is still alive, that immigrated to this country to make a better life for you, and even though they started off small and got wealthy and got a business going so that you could be a person of privilege, what in the fuck gives you the right to spit on everything they worked for to get here so that you can be born on American soil and have the rights and privileges that all Americans have? But yet, you want to shoot up gay people or nursery homes or people who can't really defend themselves because they have some mental issues, as in the San Bernardino people who have either Iraqi or Arabian descent. Or you want to shoot up people in a gay club because you don't have a problem with blacks, just gay men and Iranians and Iraqians and stuff like that. You are pieces of shit. Your grandparents immigrated to this country and took jobs from people who was more than willing to work. But if they immigrated from this country and started their own business and got a life with a small business loan so that you could have the good schooling, the colleges, and you want to turn around and get radicalized and kill your own kind in America, you, radicalized youth of America, are pieces of shit. No censoring, no editing, and I don't give a fuck if this keeps people from ever getting a job. You pieces of shit, shame your families. This young man down in Florida last Saturday, early Sunday, he left a 3-year-old boy to pay for his sins. Really? You dumb son of a bitch. You're dead and gone now. But your son has to answer to this crap. Those two bastards in San Bernardino left an infant daughter. And she's going to have to answer for this crap. Because you stupid bastards got radicalized for a man who doesn't give a fuck about you. He don't give a damn about his ISIS soldiers. It's all propaganda. It's all brainwashing the youth of America and the dumbasses that follow this bastard. They don't know it, but they're all just pawns. If you really wanted to make a statement, maybe you ought to try working to make his country better instead of trying to make enemies of every country in the world so that we all can just unite and drop one big, massive motherfucking mighty right on his ass and blow up the whole damn country. Unfortunately, and I'm hoping like hell that it doesn't come to that, but sometimes if you have to lay a Miss Mighty right somewhere and blow that piece of shit off the map, sometimes it has to be done. I don't support that shit, but sometimes it has to be done. But I will support it if we can get all the civilians out. If you can get all the innocent men, women, and children out, then you blow that son of a bitch to hell and back. Pull another Osama bin Laden or pull a Saddam Hussein, you know. But get this motherfucker instead of letting him brainwash the youth of America. And then closing to the youth of America. What are you thinking? How bad has this country been to you? You know, every now and again you get a dumb jackass that's black that does something stupid. You have a white person that does something stupid, but they're so desensitive to it that they don't cut on the news and say, God, don't let this guy be white. No. And in Asia, you know, they're so sensitive to it that they don't have to say the same thing either. But it's all about location. But in America, your skin is brown, your ass is going down. So you have to think when you cut on that news, Lord, don't let this man be black. Because he's going to ruin it for everyone. But as for you, youth of America, you dumb bastards that are being radicalized by this jackass who doesn't give a damn about you, at least in America, you have a fighting chance. You actually have the right to make choices. And let me rephrase that. You actually have the privilege of having the right to make choices. Because you know what? Your God given right to live is the only right that you have. How you live in some places is not a right at all. Sometimes you have to bend with the system. But when you live in a country where your freedom allows you to piss in your front or backyard anytime you want, as long as no one else can see you and you're not like taking handfuls of piss and throwing them at people or defecating in their yard, you can't beat that. Where if you live in a country where, you know, the smallest thing can get you executed, like in North Korea, man, and you think you're helping your cause by joining a country that wants you and your grandparents who worked so hard to get you here to die. Yeah, that's real radical. That's so damn radical that if you think about it, you will realize that your radicalization is killing your own families in this place. You wouldn't put a bullet to your grandma's head if, whatever the fuck his name is, the cowardly leader of ISIS asked you to, would you? And if you would, then you truly are a piece of shit. I'm James Williams Jr., and my food for thought on that is if my grandparents would have came from anywhere other than the dirt that we were born on here in America, I would not sacrifice them for my happiness. I would not put a bullet in my own family members' heads because I had a cause and I want to make a statement. And if you're radicalized and you're this dumb, then may God have mercy on your soul because there's a special place in hell for you. And if I can go there when you get there, I will be the devil's best friend and continue to rip your ass apart, Hellraiser style. I'm James Williams Jr. This is Kung Fu Havoc number 2. BC and you.